We're 4 weeks in, and I've got close Republican friends that say this is already a failed presidency. They voted for moderation. They thought Donald Trump would take a victory lap in his last 4 years or however long he makes it. Wrong. He's lurched hard to the alt-right, trying to drag America along with him in violation of our values, of our principles, of what makes the United States the type of democracy that it is and what was once the leader of the free world. What can we do about that and about Donald Trump's attempt to take the beating heart of democracy and shrink wrap it under MAGA? We cover it on Legal AF the best way we know how. And here's the After Dark edition.
One of the things that the Trump DOJ also did, connecting this now to what I showed you at the beginning, is they have halted or just completely dismantled the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act and the kleptocracy division that goes after specifically the attempt of Russians to try to bribe off American politicians. The Trump DOJ killed its elite anti-corruption unit, the Kleptocracy Initiative, famous for seizing Russian oligarchs' yachts, prosecuting the $4.5 billion 1MDB fraud. That was the Malaysian sovereign wealth fund that was being used by, what was that guy's name? Jolo? I think the guy's name was Jolo, and he would come here and, spend hundreds of millions of dollars at night, and goes to tell you some of the problems that exist with these sovereign wealth funds. And it's one of the things that Trump said he wants to create with Musk is his own piggy bank, his own sovereign wealth fund. So you have the dismantling of the kleptocracy unit. Also, indicate an executive order saying that the DOJ is not going to be prosecuting Foreign Corrupt Practices Act case, bribery cases. So American businesses are open for bribes. I mean, maybe that's one of the reasons that American businesses were supportive of this regime, because they saw themselves as the oligarchs. But let me describe to you the game, though. Let me show you this clip first, though, and then I'll describe to you what's really going on here with Trump doing all of these things. And you always just got to follow the money, right? So let me just show you. This is in the Oval Office. This is Trump being asked a question. And the question, just like the worst framing of a question ever, because this is how you have to ask Trump questions, as he's banned the Associated Press because they refuse to call the Gulf of Mexico Gulf of America. So now reporters are taught the way I'm going to show you this question right here. And so Trump then says that he thinks USAID interfered with the 2020 American election and the 2024 Indian election. Here, play this clip.
President Trump, first of all, congratulations for the fantastic 24 days of your presidency. Historic and unprecedented decisions that you made, transformational reforms. I'm particularly impressed by the expose on USAID. And I would like you to share with us if you think USAID had a role in election interference in the US in 2020 and Indian elections in 2024.
So it could have had a role. There were a lot of bad things that happened in 2020. I think bad things happened in 2024, but it was too big to rig. We won by a tremendous margin. We won every swing state. We won the popular vote by millions of votes. So it was too big to rig. But yeah, I think they probably tried. We're looking to go to a system now much different, where one-day voting, voter ID, and we have to do that. And paper ballots. We want paper ballots. And when they do that, we're going to clean it up very, very well. But
so they use USAID as the sword and the shield, or the wand that distracts. And for the MAGA base, remember the MAGA base, what do they love? The QAnon, Q drops. They take these little parcels, these nuggets of information that, ooh, this means that. So by going through and just dropping data from USAID, a lot of it either just outright misleading and false stuff, like just complete lies, like Oh, there was $50 million that was sent to Hamas with condoms, which is like false. In 2019, the Trump administration, as part of USAID, was sending contraception to a place called Gaza in Mozambique because the United States, as the leader of the free world, was promoting health across the world and prosperity across the world because American soft power led to our growth. It allowed corporations too, for all those corporations out there to have reciprocity and be viewed favorably in other countries to even do business. It allowed America to be viewed favorably in many places in the world. But USAID, they go, oh, we found 8 million here, 12 million here, 20 million here, 6 million here. Look, it's all of these Hollywood actors getting paid to go to Ukraine. 100% false. None of it is true. So it's a form of McCarthyism on steroids, with those steroids on steroids and those steroids on steroids on steroids. It's something we've never seen before, but it's a tool of a fascist regime. But what are they doing? I mean, to all the people out there, Popok, what about no tax on tips? What about no tax on overtime? What about the no tax on Social Security? Is that in the Republicans' budget? Answer, no. What's in the budget? Oh, $4.5 trillion in tax cuts for the billionaires, $880 million in cuts of Medicaid. See you later, Medicaid, and MAGAs are on Medicaid too. $300 million or $300 billion in cuts or so on agricultural stuff, $350 billion on education cuts that red states also rely upon, gutting FEMA. I mean, just think about it. Donald Trump sent a letter to Governor Kemp in Georgia, rejecting Governor Kemp's request for FEMA debris assistance that Biden was providing based on Hurricane Helene. And Trump's FEMA said, nope, we're not giving you debris assistance, an extension of of what you were getting in September. And then someone like Brian Kemp goes and says he's voting for Trump in 2024 and does. So we're seeing this writ large. I just think that what all of this ultimately is about, the legal challenges, the legal distractions, a lot of this stuff, we always have to bring it back, which is why I think we have to talk about it on our last segment, because we could get lost in the weeds a little bit. And I don't want to get lost in the weeds of ultimately what are we talking about here, Popok? We are talking about Trump delivering for the billionaires and Elon Musk and them distracting the masses and actually distributing wealth from the poor to the rich. Popok.
So how do I unpack all that? So the things that he is destroying are things that generally benefit the red states. The Inflation Reduction Act funding that the poorly named Inflation Reduction Act funding that Biden did with billions of dollars went 85% or more to red states. So all that clawback and all that no more funding and cut off the funding is just harming his own voters who are waking up now to realize that when he takes a position about the water crisis in California, your home state, and he has ordered that they open up reservoirs to show off the water supply in California during the worst time possible, which undermines proper water management and harms those places in California that are red, the farm districts. It just shows you that it's hard to believe this guy was once president the way he's operating. I just did a hot take, Ben, for Meiselas about the fact that Donald Trump and Elon Musk just let go all of our nuclear bomb experts from the Department of Energy, the ones that are responsible for our nuclear bomb making capacity, dismantling and creating bombs and weapons, powering our nuclear submarines, the counterterrorism around nuclear weapons. We just got rid of them after we've invested. Each one of them took almost 2 years to properly train and get top level security clearance. And through just an email from Elon Musk. And then they realized what had happened, that, wait, those guys or people that we just let go, they're responsible for our nuclear arsenal. They didn't even know that. That's because Elon Musk doesn't belong anywhere near the government. And he's letting people who are unqualified and have their own personal agendas pull levers of power in America. And only bad things can happen. We have a warped administration whose policies are warped by the ethical and financial conflicts of Donald Trump and the oligarchs around him, led by Elon Musk. So they don't have the right poll star guiding them to proper policy that helps mom and pop America, because that's not in their interest. Racking up trillions of dollars of more debt and deficit to make my great-grandchildren pay for their profligate spending now is their goal. If Donald Trump doesn't leave office, I'm not making this number up. If Donald Trump doesn't leave office, $1 billion wealthier than when he entered, in one of the greatest criminal transfers of wealth that we've ever seen, I'd be shocked. So you know my predictions in the Popok time capsule. 3,000 or more lawsuits being filed against his administration, 80 to 90% of which will be successful. He's going to accumulate $1 billion between himself and his family, and the others, like Elon Musk, are going to triple, if not quadruple, their net worth before this whole show is over. I've said nothing about how it impacts the American people and their economy, their personal economy, because it's not going to be favorable for them, because none of the policies that are being generated by this warped mind and administration are going to benefit the American people, except for the little bread and circus, as you mentioned it. No tax on tips. Oh, here, throw this little crumb over here, little crumb over there. Forget the crumb. Where's the bread? I'll take a half a loaf at this point. And so we have to continue to open the Americans' eyes and get the scales to fall from their eyes and see what you and I so clearly see, and those on the Midas Touch Network and Illegal AF, which is another kleptocracy. When I hear the Department of Justice has decided to get out of the policing bribery business, that they think it's better for we're supposed to have American business that reflects the values of our country. I'm riding around where I'm at now. I see all these like Trump signs. Take America back. Take America back from whom? From other Americans? We are supposed to have American ideals. That's supposed to mean something. And we want businesses to reflect those ideals. If we left businesses to their own devices, all they care about is shareholder value and a return on investment and the bottom line. They don't care about where you sleep tonight, how you eat tonight, how your kids go to school tomorrow, and what's in your refrigerator. They don't care about that because it doesn't make them money. Donald Trump says, let's get rid of not only the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, let's get rid of the Foreign Extortion Act, because businesses in America should be able to freely bribe their way to the top. That's what America are we living in? As I've said, he is taking the beating heart of the American democracy and he has shrink wrapped it in some sort, right? Like a wrap around a car of this MAGA thing. And we got to bust it out, right? Because you and I are just going to spend the next 4 years or 2 years to the midterm election, not only talking about the 2,000 or 3,000 cases, but all of these value and policy propositions. This is the difference between the parties and between fair-minded and fair-thinking people and the other thing on the other side. You know, we would never as a party be able to do the things that Donald Trump is doing because we have morals and we have values, and those are supposed to reflect America. And so that is the struggle. It's good and evil. It is that you and I are on the forefront of, and by extension, our committed, engaged audience.
You know, and for me, it's just about what is the objective reality? What does all of the data truly state? And I saw somebody, I think on TikTok, make this observation. I thought it was funny. someone was like, I really never liked group projects in high school because I'd often get stuck with people in my group and they wouldn't work hard, or they would, lie or slouch or whatever it would be. And then they said, America's one of these group projects that I just can't stand, this group project. It was a funny analysis because, what pains me throughout all of this is the manipulation seems fairly obvious. Right? It seems pretty basic what the billionaires are doing. And it's not even a matter, and it shouldn't be a matter of, Democrat, Republican, Independent, Green Party, whatever. It should just literally be like, y'all realize that the rich people keep on fooling you, and they're treating you like you're stupid, and you're kind of proving them right that you are by keep on falling for the same thing over and over again. Isn't that's like the definition of insanity? It's like obvious. They're lying to you about no tax on tips because they're trying to get Vegas voters. They're lying to you about no tax on Social Security because they're gutting Social Security. They're lying to you about all of these things, and you keep on falling for it every single time. And all they have to do is use the word transgender or this, and it works you up, and then you vote against your interest. I mean, I teach sports law at a university in Southern California, so I'm familiar with Title IX, which says, for example, that male and female sports are supposed to be treated equally. That's a law. It's called Title IX. Well, Donald Trump said, look, I'm supporting women, and that's why we're not going to allow the 9 transgender athletes to play in the NCAA. He didn't say 9. He acted like you would think there were transgender athletes everywhere because he wanted to use this to bully. He signed an executive order to make a whole big show of this. And how is this framed? Donald Trump is helping women's sports. The Trump Title IX guidance that just came out said that male sports don't have to share their name, image, and likeness endorsement revenue now that they can make money with women's sports. So they just gutted the ability of women's sports and women athletes to get paid equally as male athletes. That's actually going to affect mostly all women athletes. There was going to be a rev share, which is what Biden proposed. Now there's not a rev share, what Donald Trump proposed. And people got so angry at the one volleyball player in San Jose State who was just trying to live and exist that they literally just hurt their own pocketbooks and their own income. And they used it under the banner of championing women's sports while women's sports was just gutted. What did Donald Trump do? He walked around, and said, FEMA's not doing this for the people of North Carolina. I'm going to help you. FEMA's not doing this for Georgia. Biden's FEMA's not doing this. What's Donald Trump saying about California? You're not raking the land the right way. You got to rake it better. We're going to make sure we rake your land better. It's just all lies, and it's verifiable. And they've got you so focused on Hamas condoms in Gaza that you're not actually following the facts. That's how the billionaires are screwing you. And they're dangling these things in front of you, and they're giving themselves $4.5 trillion in tax cuts and taking away your medicine and your healthcare and your life. So with FEMA, Donald Trump says Biden's FEMA's not doing things when Biden's FEMA was. So what does Trump do? He says he's abolishing FEMA. And he denies what FEMA was giving to these red states or states that voted for Trump. The Trump FEMA rejects it because Trump's trying to gut it. That Biden was giving the states all of this emergency relief. That's so wild to me. And y'all keep on falling for this crap. Look at this headline that's not getting enough attention in San Francisco Chronicle. Trump's spending freeze halts the key wildfire work. We can't even buy the rakes. Most of the land in California that Trump says needs to be raked, it's not state-owned land, it's federal land. And the federal agency overseeing 15 million acres of public lands in California has halted its critical fire prevention work because of the massive freeze in government funding directed by Trump. The Bureau of Land Management confirmed it stopped all plans to clear hazardous overgrowth on public lands across the country if the projects were to be paid through the bipartisan infrastructure law. The law was slated to fund $113 million worth of fuels reduction work on 770,000 acres nationwide this year. Quote, "We can't even buy the rakes if we wanted to rake the forest." Stephen Gutierrez with the National Federation of Federal Employees, the union representing the workers. The cuts also are gutting the firefighters' positions. Remember all those firefighters for Trump and police officers? He's just literally screwing you. The veterans for him, he's taking away your benefits. So how did your mind go to mush? I mean, how do you keep getting, you're not watching this, but maybe you're undecided. I don't know. How did their minds go to mush and just become so easily manipulated? And that's why we do this show. I mean, that's why we've created this network to just get out the facts. And I can show you the data and do my best because corporate media wants to have 6 people on this side of the office and 6 people on this side of the table. Oh, Gulf of America, Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America, yell. That's stupid. Okay, who cares? Okay, at the end of the day, your life is being harmed by these policies, but you are stuck in rage algorithms that you're literally voting against you and your kids and your grandkids. And so we'll use this platform to continue to grow. That's the end of Legal AF for today.
Welcome back. Wednesdays and Saturdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Join us on YouTube for Midas Touch, where we do the OG podcast, 5 years in the making, Legal AF. When Ben and I got together and said, with $1 and a dream, we need to do a show at the intersection of law and politics and hope somebody watches, we never envisioned, we never dreamed that there would be 4 million subscribers to the Midas Touch Network. And on our YouTube channel for Legal AF, the YouTube channel, we're already about to hit 500,000 in about 5 months. That's all a testament to you. We are people powered. We have no outside investors. We're on a shoestring budget. I bought this microphone and my camera. So we need your help. And the way to do that is very simple. Free subscribe, Legal AF, the YouTube channel, Legal AF Midas Touch. Follow us on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on the YouTube channel and on podcast platforms, audio ones, wherever you may get them. So until my next reporting, I'm Michael Popok. In collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories, the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.